Well, hey, good morning, guys. I'm back here over in Harrodsburg, Kentucky, and I'm going to do another inspection for Doug Sewell with Sewell Motorcoach on a 2001 Marathon on a Prevost XL2 chassis. And while I haven't taken a look at it yet, I do know one thing about it. There's no slide outs on it. And that might make this Marathon appeal to a lot of people. And we'll go ahead and check for any sort of delamination while we walk to the back here. All right, so naturally we're going to do a roof inspection here, but I do want to point out that as I did the check on the sidewalls, I did notice that one was rattling, and that one was rattling too. And while this one sounds pretty good, I don't know if you can hear the difference in tone at that point. That's what we're looking for. So I just don't go around punching the sidewalls of buses for no reason. It's not because I'm angry. That's just how I test it. And it doesn't damage my hand. And then we'll look at this beautiful Detroit Diesel Series 60. Now I have it on pretty good authority from Doug that there's only been 2 owners on this beautiful bus in over 20 years. As an RV owner myself, the peace of mind of knowing that the previous owners were intentional caretakers gives you a lot more confidence as a new or future owner. Now I don't want to leave you guys hanging because I do have to do the inspection still, but we'll do a quick sneak peek because I understand the previous owner put about $100,000 into this, and those are new updated LED lights, so are those. And wow, no slides are the way to go, I think. And yeah, that's a new TV. That's a new Kenwood radio. All right, let me see what I find. Kind of feels like I'm not going to find anything just looking at it, but I'm going to look hard. And no matter how nice the RV or motor coach, there's always something. Now, what's unfortunate about the sidewall, that can be fixed. It's getting a little bit easier as people are getting smarter about it. But I do expect the roof to be really nice. Now, not only is it nice, but I see signs of upkeep and maintenance. Most notably, the wind sensors have been replaced in the back here. Even though I would say it's safe to say even the front ones have been replaced at some point. Look at that. That's why I say don't even bother with them. Just sticking up ready to get ripped off. My advice is always to assume the wind sensors don't work anyways and never leave your awnings deployed in windy conditions or unattended. Which is of course why I never got around to replacing the one on my motorhome right there. But I did leave a brand new one for the future owner, and that's another reason why I'm here right now, is I'm delivering my 2001 Beaver Patriot Thunder, saying goodbye to it. We'll start right back here at the rear of the coach, and one thing I do want to point out is the paint is not peeling on the roof. So this has probably been stored indoors quite a bit, and that is not any paint imperfections, that's just moisture, because in Kentucky they do have humidity. It's a beautiful Kentucky September day too. I slept 105, now it's 72 here. At any rate, it's not a weather commercial. I do see a little bit of sealant gap. Now this is going to be basically ProFlex, Pro Seal, urethane type, so we might want to touch that up. Otherwise, I'm kind of curious. These all have a jagged edge on them, and so I'm guessing these were the original mounting locations for the wind sensors. And they probably weren't getting enough wind in their location. So it looks like they cut those off and relocated them. Roofs tell a lot of stories, don't they? I even like right here they have a deflector to get the water from the high point down off the side so it doesn't go down the middle of the rear cap there. Otherwise, this is a metal roof. It is part of the superstructure of the Prevost bus. You can see they took advantage of the satellite dish mount that was here before, and now they have a Starlink mobile internet up there, so that has been updated. We'll give that awning a little bit of a kick, this awning a little bit of a kick, and because there are 4 wind sensors, we can safely assume there are 4 power awnings on this. I have to get the remote to see if they do work. So here you can see they have added new ProFlex when they added that Starlink. So you can see that has been updated. You can also see They sealed it off there. Again, they didn't drop a screw on a P-clamp there. They just went ahead and glued it on. And I even like how they did that there too, without putting a hole in the roof, but they did secure that cabling. You can see they even touched up the sealant that was on the original cable run with all those P-clamps. So from this point where the cable would have come out, P-clamp, 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 all the way to this point right there where the old satellite dish would be. So that tells me that whoever did this installation really took a lot of care. I like to see that. But at any rate, I did say the metal roof is part of the bus monocoque structure or superstructure. So it is one of the best roofs you can get on a RV, motorhome, motor coach, whatever you want to call it. See me stepping around this vent right here because the roof does flex a little bit, and we do want to make sure that if this isn't secured correctly, those screws would pop up, and that looks pretty good. Looks like at some point somebody resealed this and they probably used a little bit too aggressive a cleaner and took some of that paint off. Now you can see the aluminum exposed a little bit. And now you can see the aluminum's just exposed a little bit. Otherwise, this sewer vent, Venturi sewer vent, original one, maybe touch it up there, maybe touch it up there. Maybe touch it up there too. So I can recommend a little bit of touch up. This is also why I don't really like to use the Geocell or Lexol sealant on because it's a polyurethane sealant and it is heavy duty and it does self-seal on some level and it's a good adhesive, but it does yellow and it does flow a little bit and it will pick up like pine needles, pollen, dirt and things like that. That's why I don't really like to use it as a body seal for molding like a lot of other techs might do. I just like to use it where it's not going to be seen too much like on the roof. Otherwise, that looks pretty good. Somebody updated this TV antenna that would have been here originally. That's why that plate's there. Of course, we already checked that out. That looks pretty good. Looks good there. And we've actually already been up here, so sealant looks all intact right there. Probably GPS. Was that GPS at the time? And let's see, that's probably the wind sensor wiring. I could probably recommend that be addressed because I think we can both agree, or all of us can agree, that's probably not going to be protected very well. Yeah, you can see it all right there. This solar panel is a maintenance solar panel. It's a flexible one, and I can tell you by the looks of it, it's probably not doing anything at all. Sometimes these extensions that they put on the front caps of these buses from the converters will crack, especially right about there, so it's nice to inspect to make sure that they're not. We'll lean over. Those clearance lights look intact. Windshield gasket's not falling out. But yeah, right there is the original cap. Marathon added this as a build-up to the front cap. Otherwise, if that other wiring was bad, we should probably go back and look at the rest of the wiring, huh? It looks okay. This is the motor wiring for the awning. This is the wind sensor wiring. Like we already saw, that one was broken a little bit because it's sitting proud. Wind sensors are just nothing but problems. And I didn't point this out. This is probably the range hood vent cover. Even though it's galvanized steel, it does age a little bit. It's probably the dryer. So that wire's a little bit bad there. And a little bit there too. Okay. But if it wasn't for those wind sensors, all we have to do is a little bit of sealant touch-up on this roof, and it's in really great shape. It's been taken care of, it's been loved, and that's why these are the gold standards. What I'll do is once I'm done with the inspection, I'll pull this thing out and we'll put the awnings out and make sure that they all work too. And yes, I did notice that I do need to touch up over here. And I didn't show you the CB antenna. I don't know, maybe that's a cell phone antenna. Either one, sealant is in really good shape. So that was the easiest inspection I think I've done in a long time. Very easy. And even though this is a 2001 Marathon, it's still a great example of why I love a Marathon and their builds. But let's start on the outside. So we'll go ahead and start right here. Obviously, I already pointed out all the exterior lighting has been upgraded to LED lighting, which is beautiful, especially on the front end too. The headlights have been upgraded, the high beams have been upgraded, and of course, all the interior halogen lights too. But we're not here yet. The tires are going to be from 2023 on the front and the drive, but also 2022 on the tag axles. Now, of course, right here, there's a big part of my heart that thinks that this is a beautiful toolbox installation that did not come from a Marathon. Great location, great application. I don't think I've ever seen such a good idea in my life. Maybe if that one was powered, that might be a little bit better. Otherwise, you get a lot of storage space right here, including a pretty slick looking storage drawer right above. Now just behind that, you have a full bay with a basement slider. And now this one is mechanical. Of course, I do love a mechanical basement slider. And it's the entire width of the bay too, with almost no overhangs on it either. So you don't have to worry about things falling off on that. Speaking of interesting, it has the original tube TV on the outside entertainment compartment. And yes, it does still swivel. I'm really kind of surprised they left this one in, but it's kind of a fun little throwback. More storage drawers underneath right there. But the next bay is going to be a mechanical bay. And again, this is another reason why I, as a technician, really like Marathon and their build. It's all well laid out, very easy to access everything. Look at this. This will come straight off. Everything's labeled for you. Nothing's hidden out of the way. You have the two marine water heaters, work on Webasto heat and 110 power. And even right here, they went ahead and plumbed a gravity fill just in case. It's just, everything should be this simple. Now just rear that, past the tag axle, in this tiny little storage compartment where Marathon puts the batteries, we have 6 brand new AGM 4D batteries. And then of course the code on this, Y is going to tell you the year, Z being the 26th letter, Y is the 25th letter. So that was really easy to know. I have to count back in time on that one. Even back here in the engine compartment, everything's incredibly simple, well laid out. Even have a battery maintainer right there. Easy to access this Detroit Diesel Series 60. Oh yeah, you can even see maintenance has been done right here. So somebody's actually changed out that selector switch right there. And of course, I did have this fired up and running. Really nice, quiet engine. Well, as quiet as a Detroit diesel gets, but beautiful engine back here. Now on the back right here, it is a little bit dirty, but none of the stainless steel is dented, and all that paint is still in immaculate condition from the factory. Really impressed by the condition of this. So much so, if we come back here, you see the Webasto when it was serviced last, but more importantly, they just serviced the dash AC too, and labeled it. So you can see the owners have been keeping up on it. I wouldn't say this excited me a lot, but I did find a few things in here that I was impressed by. First is going to be here. One of my biggest problems or complaints with Marathon is their drop-down hatch for their sewer door and their shore cord. This doesn't have the drop-down hatch, but it does have a power cord to go in and out. I kind of like how much simpler that is. And then on the sewer valves, again, I'm not a huge fan of power sewer valves, but they did make it fairly easy. If the motor was to break, you can actually do it manually right here by pulling the pin and pulling it out right there. So yeah, that's what I like to see. And of course, this does swivel up and down just like a lot of modern RVs would. Couldn't be labeled any easier when it comes to the water compartment. Mechanical bay should be very simple to understand and to operate. Just forward of that is going to be a little bit of a storage bay, but behind here is going to be where the inverters are located. You can see the disconnects for them right there. Another feature that I love about Marathons is they give you the emergency bypasses for the inverter. So if the inverters that are in here do go bad, you don't have to take it to a shop immediately. You can just either run off the generator or the shore power for each one of them and bypass them. Because, yeah, the inverters are the heart of your RV or your motor coach. Over here is just going to be the other side of that cross bay storage. And this will come out the entire way. And more importantly, because there's no slide outs on the bus, you do not have to worry about hitting your head on the bottom of the slide out getting into that bay. Forward to that, we'll find the Kohler 20 kW generator. It's beautiful, well maintained. You can see new filters right there. And more importantly, I did check the water pump belt right over there, and you can even see they just replaced the battery for the generator. Now that's pretty much everything on the exterior, except I do want to point out that this came with side view cameras in 2001, and the mirrors have the built-in LED lights on them for the turn signals. May not impress anybody in 2025, but that's pretty cool in 2001. I don't remember seeing those before. But even on the front of the coach, we can see no dents in the stainless steel down there. The paint looks beautiful. And I gotta think that this has been added too. I don't feel like that's original. I like that. Looks very modern with that right there. But speaking of modern, the cameras over here are exceptionally well integrated into the new dash radio multimedia center. Now this is a Kenwood unit. And of course, I'm a big proponent of not just having a nice big screen that you can rest your hand on driving down the road, because this is a touch screen, but also has a volume knob, which I think is very important as a driver. Now, you can see right here, you have navigation built into it. You even have a top-down view of the car. There is no 360 on this one though. But the camera's over here. If I push that right there, it brings up the entire camera again. I mean, that's pretty cool. And we have the side view camera right there. So I can click on that. Comes up with the turn signal. Comes up with the turn signal over here to the passenger side. Very nice. So that was a beautiful integration of modern technology into a older bus. But it doesn't stop right there. Unlike modern multimedia infotainment centers on RVs, this one can be upgraded really easily, and we turn that off. We can go right to the tech link from Marathon. 25 years later, still working just fine. Marathon should be proud of this. And we can still go back to everything we want to go to. So it goes without saying, I'm a big fan of keeping it simple, and I think that's why I really like the Marathon and the build, is that in general on this one, kept it very, very simple. That's why we're right here at the dash. You might as well take a look at the odometer right there. We're at 166,000 miles. And it wouldn't be a bus walkthrough video if I didn't say, barely broken in. Otherwise, the layout for the cockpit for the driver, looks like it has a carbon fiber looking panels for all the switches. They're all solid buttons to turn everything on and off, just like you would expect to see on a Marathon. And of course the visors, I think, are all brand new power visors too. I think those have just been changed out. I saw new ones in the basement. Now speaking of blinds and shades, yes, this one is equipped with motorized shades, and yes, it is fairly simple. You have the two buttons over here as switches to open and close them, but you don't have to use those switches either. They're just for convenience. It still does have the original remote to operate all the blinds together. But I don't want to close these off, so I want a lot of sunlight to come in here so we can see better. Now with those blinds back open, hopefully we can see what a beautiful window view you have driving down the road. And of course, the leather and the suede and all the materials are in wonderful condition on both the ceiling, the valances, the dash, and the driver's and passenger seats. And yes, this is an air ride seat. And yes, the passenger seat does have massage featured to it. But another upgrade that we did talk about was that it has a brand new TV in the front and in the bedroom. And whoever installed it did an absolutely gorgeous job. And yes, the fiber optics in the ceiling still work too. And while the TV is a beautiful job, I'm not too impressed by TVs anymore. But I would guess on the floor below, they had some custom mats made to protect the polished stone. That is real stone on the driver's compartment and the stepwell right here. And that's a very iridescent mica in there. So maybe this is a granite, a type of granite. I'm not really sure. But this flooring right here, I would imagine is not the original flooring. Now it looks like a bamboo stained floor. And they did a great job integrating that into the stone there and matching it up with the galley stone over here. Now, besides its condition, maybe the most important thing to know about this 2001 Prevost from Marathon is that, again, there's no slide outs on this. As you see it, is as it's ready to go. You don't have to put anything away. You don't have to put the slide outs in. You don't have to move furniture around. It's ready to go driving down the road. Now you'd also think, because of the blinds are motorized and Marathon has been known to do it, that the sofa would be motorized, but again, they kept it pretty simple. It's just like a click clack on manual furniture. So you have a extended sofa, turns into a fairly long twin size bed. This is going to be real leather right there, and even the upholstery looks like it's in pretty good shape there. Now I would say, unsurprisingly, all the countertops in here are going to be a solid surface material, but they do have 3 colors on the edge bounding right there. This is of course made to look like granite, but it's going to be a lot more stable material and easier to clean. Now just opposing the sofa is going to be more of a subdued or smaller desk work area. You still have the normal drawers right here for storage, which is nice, but it's also able to bring the recliner underneath if you wanted to use it as a desk, but it's also not a great big huge piece of furniture that's going to be getting in your way of enjoying this. And of course, with that new TV, this is going to be the perfect seating position to enjoy that new TV. Man, that ceiling is still stunning. Now, one thing I might have forgot to point out is that this is equipped with 3 cruise airs, and all 3 of them are working and blowing nice and cold air, along with the dash AC. We did see that was just serviced. But moving further back, this is probably my favorite part of a bus without any slide outs, is that the engineers and designers were forced to make a floor plan that flowed and worked and maximized the space without relying on the crutch of a slide out room to give you more space. And to me, this feels like you have a lot more space when you're living in it than a lot of these buses that have 4 slide outs in it. And again, this is all the space. You don't have to worry about being cramped driving down the road because the slide out rooms are made a tiny little narrow pathway, which usually becomes a big problem right here in the galley area. Speaking of the galley, again, a nice big cutout right here for your recliner to have some room to move back. And of course, back here you have that same 3-color countertop edging, and I don't know if you can see, it is underlit with some really nice bead lights. Now this does have dual asymmetrical, seamlessly integrated Corian or solid surface sinks. I really like that, again, because you can have a work sink and more countertop space, and a big sink is always going to be better than 2 small sinks. Now, unsurprisingly, to make these organic shapes in the cabinetry on a bus, a lot of times they go with a high-end laminate to cover all the cabinetries, make them easy to clean, and all of this is in great condition. It does have a convection oven microwave from GE, and while this is an electric 2-burner stovetop, this is a radiant stovetop. It is not induction, but you could change that out if you wanted. But of course, look at all this countertop space with the seamlessly integrated covers on it. Nothing sticking out that's going to get chipped. And this one comes equipped with a apartment dishwasher, which I'm starting to think might be the way to go when you compare them to the drawer dishwashers. I don't know. These are kind of winning me over. Over here, this has a smaller dinette table. Now you could probably change this out if you wanted to. It does not extend out. It does not turn into a bed. You could flip this around and make one of those breakfast bars with stools if you wanted to, or even a bigger desk. I've seen some people do that too. Now across from there, I won't say it's my favorite feature, but they do have a Frigidaire refrigerator, and I have pretty much the exact same one in my house, and it's been a fabulous refrigerator from me. I don't think it's the original one, because this one is from 2008. The only advice I would give to the future owner is that I can't find those filters in stores anymore. I have to order them online. But of course, they're about half the cost online anyways than I was paying at the store. Just across from the refrigerator, we do have this very large pantry space, which should be more than enough space for anybody. And again, look at the access that Marathon gives you. This can be the way you service the halogen bulb for the fiber optics in the ceiling above. Yeah, hey, look at that. It's right there. Now, making our way further back, we can see the stone tile makes it all the way back here in the bathroom, but this is a mechanical pocket door, which of course I do love to see for the most part. Hi. Even though the air-driven ones are a lot of fun, like you're on a spaceship. Speaking of that, I do like a mechanical door because I could already had that door open in the amount of time that took. But this is the only air-driven pocket door in the bus. There's still a second one that separates the bedroom from the bathroom there with another full-length mirror, and unlike a lot of Marathons, it's not like a partition door. that doesn't lock very well. Of course, right here, you do have a nice size vanity. Good work area on the countertop there. Mirror on the backsplash. Mirror medicine cabinets above. But again, as a technician, I don't know if you guys can appreciate having access to all the components so easily without having to destroy everything that was stapled together. The shower is a nice corner shower. Has a lock pin at the bottom. Don't lose that. And it'll give you access to, there's a fiberglass shower pan, which I do like, and it does have the solid surface walls with the stone tile as an accent above. And this is a new fantastic vent. I assume it was replaced because the older one finally broke. Now I hate to forget to do it, so I'm going with 6 foot tall. I might be 5'11", who knows now. But the step up, maybe about 3 inches, and we'll step in and see what we got. I didn't have to duck my head, and I can be on my tippy toes. So if you are 6'6", I guess you have room in here. 6'4", you should be fine. And look at that. The shower head goes high enough. You have a bench seat right there. Easy to keep clean. Don't have to worry about stuff leaking underneath it. And nobody tell anybody that I did that. Now before we make our way back into the bedroom, we'll take a hard left and make our way to the water closet, the head, or the toilet, whatever you'd like to call it. Now this is a Tecma porcelain toilet. It's a mass rating toilet, and of course, like most Marathons, you have some hidden storage space right there behind the mirror. And because this is a Marathon, you have great access to the bathroom vent here. Looking across, you have a decent sized little water closet sink, mirrored on the backsplash, mirrored on the medicine cabinets above, and again, great storage underneath it. And that's a really good idea too, to put a nice solid surface corian as a cap on top of the plumbing over there, or the bulkhead. I'd wonder if they're watching my videos, but this was built in 2001, maybe 2000, probably before. As we make our way back here, I will point out we are moving from stone to carpet. Now, while the carpet is a little bit dirty, looks like originally it had a plastic cover that would snap down on it. I will take my shoes off so that nobody gets upset with me. The first thing I'm going to point out is that you have this dressing closet, which can also be a broom closet, a mop closet, whatever you want to call it, but you do have a closet rod above, and of course you have a dressing mirror on that side, and then a dressing mirror on this side, so you could theoretically see front and backwards. But this one's going to hide, and a substantial upgrade from the previous owner, is brand new washer and dryer. These are from Asco. I think that's how you say it. And these are like really fancy because they have a LCD screen right there that talks to you. In fact, if you turn it off, it says turning off. Goodbye. So that's a really nice upgrade. Now, as we make our way back here into the bedroom, there are 4 power Roman shades, which again, not a huge fan of, but they are on mechanical switches right there, so you can open them, close them very easily without being afraid of losing the remote. And because there are only 4 switches and 4 shades, it's not going to be hard, or you're not going to get confused about which ones go to which. Now, of course, right here we can see on the bedroom, this does have a queen size bed. It is not a north-south facing bed. It does face with the head on the driver's side. But it does have airlift to it because there is storage underneath. It looks like we have all the important things that you would expect to be underneath the bed, including the safe right there. Shh, don't tell anybody that I showed you that. Now, just in front of that, we don't probably see enough of these in the bedroom, but while you might have used this as a cosmetic or a makeup desk, I could see using the computer over here just as easily. And even Marathon gave you a pull-out, I don't know, call that an ottoman, but it is also a storage ottoman to match. So that's pretty cool. And of course you get all the storage above that. So ending up the tour, we'll find that the bedroom TV has also been upgraded. They also made a very similar choice I probably would have made, and they went out of the way to make sure that the installation was nice and clean. And yeah, right size TV. They probably could have put a bigger one over the window, but why would you want to hide all that beautiful window space? Otherwise, they did upgrade with a DVD player right there. I don't think you'll need that tuner box anymore. You have the pretty standard base of dresser drawer space, and on a Marathon, You also have the main closet back here. Again, it's very easy to see the quality and pride that Marathon has in their builds because they put it on display for everybody to see, which makes repairing it, working on it, so much easier because they know exactly where everything's supposed to be. Now, while it may not be the most exciting part of the tour, I do like to point out how well we can operate the entire control center with the circuit breakers for the low voltage and the high voltage and the inverters. This is really the closest thing to a multiplex system that you have, and so it's actually a lot simpler than the modern ones. With their problematic touchscreens and their unsatisfying tactile feel, and sometimes their unreliability. Now, part of my last test of my inspection is that I need to unplug this, pull this thing forward, take a look at the awnings, and I'm going to share that part with you guys too. This will allow me to test the inverters and make sure those brand new AGM Lifeline house batteries are working. All right, shore off, drive, park brake. Let's go. All right, let's go ahead and start putting these out. 4 awnings, 0 slides. There's going to be so much protection from the sun on this, and those fabrics look like they're in incredible shape. And more importantly, they're working off the inverter. Look at all of that space. You basically have 2 shop service bays on the side of the bus. Look at that wind sensor going crazy. I should get those in, shouldn't I? 24 years old. Looks like it's brand new. I know I probably say that a lot, but this is one nice looking bus. Let me see if I can't find Doug to see what they're asking for this 2001 Marathon on Prevost XL2 chassis. But, so I don't get in trouble, let's put those awnings away. There he is. All right, Doug. That's James. Just did the inspection on a 2001 Marathon XL2. Beautiful coach.
Oh, that's a nice one.
What do you know about it?
I'm gonna ask you, I'm gonna flip the camera around on you. What'd you think about it?
You can't flip the camera. I'm holding it. Honestly, I thought it was a beautiful coach, Doug.
That's a sweet machine. Did I tell you the story about where I got that coach?
You didn't.
Do you remember that 99 Liberty? Well, I know you remember it because you're here delivering.
I'm here to deliver it. Yes.
That coach, that 99 Liberty, the original buyer that I bought that from, like, I don't know, 4 or 5 years or whatever it was, 3, 4, 5 years ago. That's where this Marathon came from. The same guy, meticulous owner. No, he appreciates the way we operate. The way he told me this, he appreciates the way we operate, the way we do business, and he knows that that coach is going to go to a good home. That's why he sold it to us, and it's a phenomenal machine. It's not without issues.
Not a lot of issues.
No, but man, oh man, he's done a lot of work to that. He bought it from Marathon. All right, let me get a minute. He bought it from Marathon, who it was a trade-in. Had 2 previous owners before him. One was an airplane pilot, kept it inside of a heated and cooled barn in Oregon. Always serviced at Marathon, so a lot to be said for that.
That must be why the paint's so good.
Paint's good. Well, there was some paint work done on it. Had a little bit of sunburn at the top from being. It's got 160,000 miles on it. So, but yeah, that $14,000 worth of paint work just completed last year at Walter DeAndreas.
All right.
So yeah, a lot to information. I can keep talking.
No. So $14,000 just in paint. That's really impressive too.
Yeah.
So I guess that brings us up to the most important question. 2001, 166,000 miles on it. What are you guys asking here at Sewell Motorcoach?
269, fully made ready. We will also take this coach to. We're going to get this coach in front of 2 experts. The one you have.
Well, at least one expert.
One expert here.
No.
And then the bus grease monkey.
Man, he does such good work.
We formed a relationship with him, so you'll see that on his channel. We're going to take it. It's next in line to go down when we pick up that 93 Marathon, and we're going to go pick up that coach and drop this Marathon off, let him go through the entire coach, take the wheels off, do a full chassis inspection, anything we find wrong with it, he is authorized to fix.
Well, that's fantastic. I look forward to watching that video and learning a lot more about the chassis side of things on the Prevost.
$269, you could be the next owner, fully made, ready, detailed, the whole nine.
All right, well, I appreciate it, Doug.
You're welcome. Thank you for coming.
Thank you. There's no slide out over here. You don't even have to stoop on. Because there's no slide out over here. Not only is it easier to drive away, because there's no slide out over here, which is great on many levels. There's no slide outs over on the driver's side right here, which is a lot of. Go ahead and open those. Perfect. You may not know this because I don't point it out in videos too much, but whenever you close the Gerard awning, you should listen to make sure the motor stops working. A lot of times you'll sit there humming because the end stop needs to be adjusted. You can burn out motors that way, but I didn't have to do that. We're good. If you guys can excuse that beeping, as a driver, I don't think you guys appreciate the field of view moving a vehicle this size is, and how you don't get this on most RVs. So easy. Tag axle. Dang. Simple. Drives like a car.